It's, you know, it's a light glove. It has a really wide heel, so it's really good for, like, you know, middle infield transfers. But you don't lose like that feeling of like length on the glove because of how wide it is. So that's, you know, that's a big plus on this glove. What's up, guys? I just wanted to thank you all for 4,000 subs, which we hit a couple months ago. I know I've been pretty sparse with the uploads lately, but I've been pretty busy with summer ball and all that stuff. But regardless, you guys have been supporting the channel. All my older videos are blowing up, which is really cool. So thank you guys. This video is a little long, but I am gonna ask that you guys watch the whole thing through. I think it has a lot of really cool information to offer. So if you could please like this video, comment what you want to see in future videos, and subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. All right, guys, let's go. So here I have two 44 Japan Selects. Even though these gloves are pretty similar in terms of the model and the sizing, they're actually completely different gloves, and I'm going to tell you why. So this 44 I got about 3 years ago in 2020. My whole thought process with designing this glove, I wanted to have something plain, so I went all orange tan. I wanted to make the web the focus of this glove. I decided to get this type of web on this glove just to make it more Japanese style. I gave it a very wide and shallow break-in, sort of what's traditional with Japanese gloves. I don't think I did a perfect job, but I think I did a pretty good job for this being my first Japanese style glove. You'll see it has the split welting and it has the loop at the top, which is standard on most Japanese style gloves. It has the like this palm overlay here between the fingers that makes the palm on this side a little wider. No finger laces there. This has a really thin heel pad here, so it makes for a really light glove. And it actually broken really easily. I haven't really gotten it past this point because I don't really use it much, but I got it to this point in just a couple of sessions of breaking in. It was a really easy break-in. So yeah, that's this glove. This is a 44 Japan Select from 2020. Now this 44 Japan Select is really similar. I mean, it's the same model obviously, but it has a couple differences. This one is 11.25. That one's 11.5. It has a different style web. It's a Japanese style post web with some rough side leather and some smooth side leather. Really cool design. It has snakeskin on the wrist and on the back of the glove. This says trust the process. This one says Mike in Japanese. So typically for 44s, the flag would go on this finger, but I special requested it to be on the ring just to give a little bit more uniformity with the text and the flag, and then one side of the glove wouldn't be super heavy with designs. This glove is way stiffer, and I think that has to do with the construction process. This one has a much thicker and stiffer heel pad, and the finger stalls are also much tighter. Hey guys, so I'm here in post editing, and something else I wanted to mention was that the new Japan Select is actually a little bit heavier, and I think that has something to do with the fact that they're getting so many more orders lately, so that might also be another cause of the inconsistency. It's not really that big of a deal considering how cheap 44s are, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. When I first got into 44s 3 years ago, they were amazing gloves. You used to be able to put in an order and get your glove within 30 days. Obviously now it's a little bit different because 44 is a much more popular company, so they have a much higher volume of orders. So that's also why some of these 44s are taking 7, 8, 9 weeks to get to your house. Now, this glove has a bunch of special requests, so that's why it took so long for my friend to get it. Now, as mentioned before, 44s are much more popular now, so they have a higher volume of orders. So that's actually gonna cause your gloves to be a little bit more inconsistent. They recently raised their prices, so that kind of does make it a little bit more tricky. So when I got this glove, I got it for about $160 on sale. And when we got this glove on sale, it was about $185. The price increase is kind of frustrating for some people who like 44s. That isn't to say that this isn't a good glove. This is a great glove. It's pretty stiff, so it's gonna last a long time. And I'm sure with a good break-in and some conditioning, it's gonna be really good. However, I do wanna say that my first Japan Select came in much nicer. 44 isn't the only company that's raised prices. Recently, Rawlings also raised their prices a little bit on their customs. So it's no surprise that other companies are trying to follow suit. Now, even though they did raise their prices a little bit, I still think that the $215 and about $180, $190 on sale is not that bad of a bargain, considering you can get things as customizable and unique as this. Enough chit chat about the gloves. Let's actually get into breaking them in. I'm gonna try and break this in just like my Japan Select, but just a little bit better, because even though I broke this in traditionally, it still doesn't necessarily close perfectly. I kind of wish it didn't have that indentation there from the finger padding, but it is what it is. It's a pretty light and thin glove, so that's kind of bound to happen either way. But since this glove is much stiffer, I think it's gonna be much better in terms of keeping its shape. So let's get right into it. As per usual, when it comes to breaking in gloves, you're gonna need a couple things. I like to use Sarna glove conditioner for the leather, a baseball of course, and a mallet. And if you have a weight, preferably like a 6, 7, or 8 pound weight. Can be a 5, can be a 10, doesn't really matter. So we're gonna start with our conditioner. There's really no science behind it. I just pour some on the palm, just rub it in. If you have a rag, you can do that too, like this. Again, like I said, there's no science to it. You just apply and rub it all over the glove. It's really not that serious. There's no wrong way to do it, honestly. As long as you don't put too much, you should be fine. Quick tip, if your finger stalls are way too tight, which is really common with 44s, I like to take the tip of a mallet. It can also be a broom, and I just shove it in the thumb stall and just move it around like that. And that'll loosen it up a lot. You do the same thing on the pinky side. Shove that in there and just move it around. And you can repeat the process. Process for all the finger stalls. Loosen them up, especially on this one, because this one actually has pretty tight finger stalls. Now, Mike, question, do you want to have your finger out, or do you want to have your finger in?
What did he say?
Out. Out? All right, so we can ignore this finger stall. So just loosen these up, and we should be good. So we're going to break in this glove finally. We're going to have this glove as the model, and we're going to try and break this one in like that, just a little bit better, because now I know how to break in Japanese gloves a little bit better. As you can see on my Japan Select, the heel is nice and wide, and the way I achieved that form was literally just by putting it on my hand and just bending this pinky part in like that. Start with the flare. Don't be scared to flare your gloves, guys. Just grab the thumb or the pinky, just bend it. Don't be scared to mess up your glove. It's leather and it's strong felt padding. It's not gonna damage your glove. It's not gonna ruin it. Just do that. Hold it there. I would hot water this glove, but it has blue leather, so I don't want any of that to bleed and to look bad. So I'm just gonna use more natural methods. Another way I achieved the form was by laying it flat. I'm gonna show this on the new glove. Laying it flat and just bending that in like that. Making sure I get this portion of the heel and creating a hinge on this part right here on the pinky side. So I would do it on this side. Mallet, mallet, mallet. Turn it over. Same side right there on that hinge. Mallet, mallet, mallet. And you get that wide shape on the heel. Already you can see it. Pound out the palm with the weight. Making sure I'm getting that nice wide heel. I'm trying to keep the break-in true to the glove's pattern. Turn it over, get the break point on the heel, and pound that out. Again, guys, don't be scared to pound the shit out of your glove. It's a glove, not like porcelain. Get that on the other side, as we mentioned before, with the wide heel. Just get that hinge right there. Pound that on the other side. If your pinky loops start to come loose, just, you know, and you don't know how to tie them, just make sure you don't let them go loose all the way and just tighten them every now and then. Get that pinky hinge. Now we're gonna get the back side of the glove. This is gonna look kind of scary, but don't worry about it, because we're gonna fix it right after. God damn. Mike is like, bro, you're ruining my glove. I got it. You'll be good. Turn that over. It's gonna look crazy on this side, but don't worry about it. Just pound that back out with the weight. And this is why we use the weight, because it's nice and heavy. And I put a towel on the ground because my dad doesn't want me to ruin his lawn. Also keeps the glove nice and clean. I think we're looking pretty good so far. Let's do a side by side. Biggest difference that I see is that these laces are super loose and these are still pretty tight from the factory. So we could worry about that later though. Let's just keep bringing this glove in. So a lot of us, whenever we're playing catch or whenever we're on the field, we like to do things to our glove, you know, when we're in the middle of fielding. So for this glove in particular, and for, you know, this style of glove, there are two things I like to do. With the thumb, I like to push this down and in like that to get that flare and that box shape. And on the pinky side, I just push it down, down. So if I'm fielding, I'm gonna be doing this to the glove, down and in like that to get that shape, and down to get that shape like that. So same glove, same model, so it's gonna have a really similar form. Down and in, get that shape there on the thumb, and down on the pinky side to get that wide, boxy heel. I'm gonna try and break that glove in fast for you, bro. That's why I'm slinging it.
I didn't even see that shit.
Hey, at least it hit your chest. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm wearing a white shirt and the ball's white. My fault.
I saw that shit when it got here.
No, dude, that glove when it breaks in, it's gonna be like this one, and it's gonna be really fun to use. How does it feel?
feels good, bro. I haven't thrown it like in like
You want to go long toss?
ages. Nah, I don't know what I'm talking. If I had my cleats, yeah.
Word. I like this glove, man. It's
Definitely feels easy getting the glove out. I'm
Ye-
getting the ball out.
getting the ball, yeah, because it's shallow. So the cool thing about this glove, like on top of that, it's even though it's 11.25, it feels like a bigger glove than what it is because of how wide it is. And that's actually really cool. That's also why
And I still get that small feeling too.
Yeah, like it.
I like trainer gloves. I like
Right.
how they feel.
You get the best of both worlds. So like that's why I really recommend the Japan Select because it's, you know, it's a light glove. It has a really wide heel, so it's really good for like, you know, middle infield transfers. But you don't lose like that feeling of like length on the glove because of how wide it is. So that's, you know, that's a big plus on this glove. And in general, not just the 44 Japan Select, but any glove that has a Japanese style. So be on the lookout for that wide heel and that palm overlay right here in between the index and middle finger.